WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. A former Wcbi County Chief Deputy will have a new badge and a new title in January.
Tony Roby won nearly 62% of the vote. He defeated incumbent two-term Sheriff Terry Grassery. Roby has been at the Macon Police Department for 3 years. He's also the Wcbi County School District's Assistant School Security Chief. The Wcbi County native says he's ready to get to work and to hear from residents.
At our goal, we're going to work with all local agencies. We're going to work with all citizens, let them know that we have an open door. Whether you voted for Officer Roby or not, we still want to work with you. You got any idea that will help the county move forward, we are willing to listen.
And Roby has been in law enforcement for 23 years. He will take the oath of office in January.
The Oktibbeha County Sheriff's race comes down to affidavit ballots. Election commissioners spent the morning counting the affidavits. Incumbent Steve Gladney held a slim lead after Tuesday night's votes were cast. One of the challengers in the race, John Rice, needed less than 100 votes to force a runoff. Once the counting was done, Gladney barely squeaked out a victory. He received 50.31% of the vote. Gladney needed 50% plus one vote. Rice finished with a little over 46%. The other challenger in the race, Brendan Gann, received 3.4% of the vote tally. There's no Republican challenger.
Well, Monroe County will have a new sheriff. Incumbent Cecil Cantrell was defeated in yesterday's Democratic primary by a pastor and former Justice Court judge.
WCBI's Allie Martin talks with Kevin Crook, who shares his plans for November and beyond.
Kevin Crook serves in a leadership position at Crossbound Church, and for the past 5 months, he has been campaigning full-time for Monroe County Sheriff.
I was reminded how big the county was when I began to try to get around to, every house, and so it was just impossible. So we had a really good team of people, a lot of enthusiasm, and those people were willing to come out and do whatever we needed them to do, and it just made all the difference in the world.
Crook served as Justice Court judge before focusing on his campaign and was a deputy with the Monroe County Sheriff's Department for 9 years. He has experience in patrol, narcotics, and as an investigator. The Monroe County native believes his experience as a judge, sheriff's deputy, and pastor qualifies him for the job.
A lot of people thought that, well, if this pastor running, he wants to see drug addicts turn their lives around. He's going to end up being soft on crime. And so what I've had to explain over and over is that God is a just God, and he stands for what's right, and he doesn't stand by. He's put us here to make sure that justice is done.
The slogan at Crossbound Church is different on purpose. Kevin Crook says the church is not losing a pastor because of the unique way it is governed.
What I do feel is this will be more maybe of my sending church locally, as I'll get to be in that missionary position over throughout the county, but I'll still have my home base, my church family to support me, and I'll still teach here when I can, and I'll still preach here when I can, and serve alongside the other elders in the church that teach and preach.
Crook says as sheriff he would put more emphasis on community policing and get Monroe County back into the North Mississippi Narcotics Unit. In Monroe County, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Crook faces Republican Andy Hood in the November election. Monroe County will certify its election results next Tuesday.
Well, after more than 2 decades in the Mississippi House of Representatives, it appears Jeff Smith will lose his seat. Dana Underwood McLean won the vote totals in Lowndes and Monroe counties. Affidavits were still being counted this morning, but it is expected those ballots will not make the 162 vote difference. McLean's apparent victory is one of the biggest political upsets in the state. Smith was first elected in 1992. McLean says her top priority in the state house will be education for now. She will celebrate the win.
Well, I'm thrilled. I'm excited about the future and what I can do for the state and what I can do for our district. I commend Representative Smith on all that he's done for us, and I'm just humbled by the chance to be able to work for us and serve, and I'm just ready to get started.
If certified as the winner, McLean will be sworn in when lawmakers return to Jackson in January.
The votes from Tuesday's primaries have been counted, and some results have been surprising to voters, pundits, and especially a few office holders.
That's right. Even though the primaries are only the first round, we already know there will be some new faces in a number of offices. Our Stephanie Poole looks into what could be behind some of the changes.
In Tuesday's primaries, thousands of voters went to the polls to cast their votes. And in the aftermath, some longtime office holders are finding themselves looking for new jobs. Dr. Brian Anderson has made a career of studying politics. He says sometimes voters can surprise a candidate.
The voters, get that restlessness and they say, well, there are other people who could go in and add a punch of energy and could give voice to ideas that somebody who's been in office for 10, 20 years may not be able to articulate.
Anderson says voters seem to want candidates who can bring in new ideas and put them into action.
If they don't do that, then people say, well, this guy is not offering anything that's relevant to us. We need a new voice.
He says once politicians get into office, they tend to rely on controlled programs to get their word out to the public.
Candidates have winning formulas for how to win office and stay in office. And that can be a very good thing if it speaks to what the people are interested in, if it kind of captivates our attention.
But sometimes those formulas fall flat.
Over time, if they don't realize that society doesn't stay still, they have to understand changes and adapt to it.
Anderson adds that voters may feel like their one ballot isn't going to change much, so they don't participate in elections.
There's always pressure on them to try to communicate effectively with the voters, make them understand that what they do in Jackson or in the local, say, county supervisor's office is meaningful and that their input is valuable.
Reporting in Lowndes County, Stephanie Poole, WCBI News.
Anderson now has his eye on what those candidates are doing leading up to the runoffs and the general election. Time now to get a first look at our forecast. Meteorologist Kendall Smith is here for that. Hey, Kendall.
Hey, Andrea. Well, the showers and thunderstorms on Doppler radar are starting to show a general downtrend, which is good news. However, there still remains the concern for some gusty winds as well as heavy rain that we will continue to monitor for you as we go throughout the next several hours. Now, here in Columbus, we are currently dry. Temperatures area-wide are sitting in the low 90s, 92 in Columbus, 91 in Tupelo, and 91 in Starkville. Now, as we go throughout your overnight hours, temperatures will dip down into the low 70s with partly cloudy skies expected.
A Winston County man is missing, and Louisville police, along with the Mississippi Highway Patrol, are asking for your help to find him. A silver alert was issued for Don McCool. He's been missing since Tuesday afternoon. McCool was last seen walking down Main Street in Louisville just before 3:30. He's about 6'3" and 175 pounds with white hair and blue eyes. Investigators believe the Louisville man was wearing a plaid shirt, black pants, and an 82nd Airborne Division hat. His family says he has a medical condition that can impair his judgment. If you know where McCool is, call Louisville Police.
An arrest has been made in a deadly Columbus shooting. 27-year-old Aaron Mitchell of Columbus has been booked into the Lowndes County Jail on a murder charge. 28-year-old Marty Christopher Moore was shot multiple times on 22nd Street South about 12:30 this morning. Lowndes County Coroner Greg Merchant says Moore died a short time later at the hospital. Police Chief Fred Shelton says there was an argument before the gunfire starting. The shooting does remain under investigation.
Now, a Corinth man wanted by the FBI is now in custody. 37-year-old Kenoris Huey is accused of drug trafficking in North Mississippi. Huey is a known member of the Gangster Disciple street gang in Corinth. A federal arrest warrant was issued for him on July 25th after he was charged with drug distribution conspiracy. Huey turned himself in to the Alcorn County Sheriff's Department this afternoon.
An area city moves ahead with plans to expand.
We take a look at the growth potential when we come back.
Welcome back. After a year and a half of talks, Starkville aldermen narrowly approve an annexation plan after several modifications and 3 public hearings about annexing the area of Highway 182 toward the university and the Clayton Village areas. The measure was approved last night. Mayor Lynn Spruill hopes to one day see some westward expansion too, but is focused right now on these current plans.
Right now it's to the east, and that's where we see apartment complexes going up. That's where we see a lot of business activity and potential business activity as well.
That plan came down to a 3-3 vote. Spruill broke the tie in favor of moving forward.
Things could soon be a little brighter in Columbus. City leaders are looking at the possibility of having LED lights installed across town. At Tuesday's City Council meeting, the board agreed to install the lights, but they're not flipping the switch until they hear from their financial advisor on whether it will impact the city's credit rating. The project is expected to cost just over $3 million. The council has not set a date to meet with the financial advisor.
Well, we're going to keep this warm and muggy trend going throughout the remainder of this week with a chance to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms. More on those details coming up next.
Your first alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Kendall Smith.
Well, we have quite a bit of unstable air out there, which is helping to fuel our showers and thunderstorms on Doppler radar at this time. Now, the showers and thunderstorms are currently located up to our north, along and north of I-22. Tupelo is just about to get some rainfall. Taking a look on our Alpha Insurance sky camera, they're seeing mostly cloudy skies in downtown Tupelo. Temperatures are sitting at 91 degrees with the dew point sitting at 77. So it is pretty hot and muggy out there. When you have dew points sitting in the 70s, you can add on an extra 10 degrees for your feels-like temperature, so it could feel like 101 degrees up there. Now, area-wide, we're seeing temperatures much of the same, sitting in the low 90s, 93 in Macon, 92 here in Columbus, 90 a little bit cooler in Starkville, and 91 up in West Point. Now, as we go throughout your overnight hours, temperatures will dip down into the low 70s. We could see an isolated shower or thunderstorm mainly before 10 p.m. and winds will be calm out of the northwest around 2 to 5 miles an hour. Now, zooming out those rain chances a little bit better for you. We're going to keep the chance to see an isolated shower or thunderstorm around throughout your evening hours, and then we'll clear things back out by midnight as we head into your morning hours. By the time you wake up, we're seeing partly cloudy skies out there. The clouds do start to increase by lunchtime, and then by the afternoon, we are seeing more widespread showers and thunderstorms just like we saw this afternoon. And then we're going to clear those rain chances back out for your overnight hours heading into your Friday. Now, as we take a look at our temperature trend over the next several days, we are right where we should be. Temperatures will be in the low 90s. Average for this time of the year is 93 degrees. So, hey, it's summer in the south. That's exactly what we are supposed to be seeing. Now, we do have some more rain that could help cool things off for us a little bit. Friday morning looks to be dry, but we could see some isolated showers and thunderstorms starting to pop up during the afternoon on Friday. We'll clear things back out overnight, but we have our next batch of rain that will make its way into our area by midnight on Saturday. We're going to keep those rain chances around throughout your morning hours as well. And then by the afternoon hours, we could still see some shower and thunderstorm activity for your Saturday, right ahead of clearing those rain chances back out as we head into your Sunday. So area-wide tomorrow, temperatures will top out in the low to mid-90s, 94 in Columbus, 95 in Macon, and 92 in Amory. So we have another summer scorcher in store for us and some more rain to talk about. It's more rain for Thursday and Friday. We're going to drop those rain chances just off a little bit for your weekend. Temperatures will be in the low to mid-90s each day, and lows will be in the low 70s.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
The high school football tour continues. We stay in 4A as we check in with the Pontotoc Warriors. After losing players in key spots, the Warriors look to prove that this season they are still a force to be reckoned with. Pontotoc is stop number 45 in our 60 and 60 marathon.
WCBI's 60 Schools in 60 Days is brought to you by Sparklight.
I just think that, to me personally, I think that I won't be satisfied that I had a trophy in my hand. Other than that, it's all good.
The Pontotoc Warriors enter this season hungry. After losing to the eventual state champions in the playoffs, the Warriors expect nothing less than to make another postseason run.
I've been lucky the last 3 years, since I've been, we've been going pretty far in the playoffs. This year we want to finish it off. We want to go ahead and go as far as we can and hopefully come out on top.
It just brought us together saying, like, we got to do better. We got to put in our part. We got to come together as a team. And once we do that, it should be easy, just like them doing it against us.
Seniors have been so close so many times, especially some of the guys that's been out there playing and starting these few years they've been with us. They've been so close, I think they really want to get to another level. So their work ethic has showed that.
Pontotoc looks to replace its starting backfield as well as duo at cornerback. But this is a program that continuously finds ways to fill key spots.
We got people stepping up in different positions, quarterbacks coming in that haven't played at all, and they're showing that they want to actually be on the field and help us prosper through the year.
We've got, with guys back there that can still handle the football, and I think they'll be able to take up the slack. I mean, these guys, you'll be amazed what young people can do.
That talent will be put through the ringer this season as Pontotoc prepares for a strong district.
It's going to be a tough one. It always is, but it's fun. It's fun to go against teams like Shannon, every year, and then we got a couple new ones, and it's just going to be different because, I'm used to playing certain teams every year, but it's going to be a good one, and I hope we can just win as many as we can.
It's never an easy game in this region. I say it's one of the toughest ones, so that's what makes it all fun about it. It's like nothing comes easy with us.
We're proud, baby. We ain't working. So for everybody to see.
With the Warriors in the high school football tour, Chris Bolton, WCBI Sports.
60 schools in 60 days with Pontotoc High School was brought to you by First Choice Bank.
Just 15 stops left on the high school football tour. The tour continues on Thursday with the South Pontotoc Cougars. Friday, the work week wraps up with the Mooreville Super Troopers. The weekend welcomes the Shannon Raiders for some of that weekend entertainment. And then on Sunday, we'll see what the Indians at Itawamba AHS have been up to. And of course, if you've missed any stops along the way, you can check them out on our website at WCBI.com. Well, after suffering from a minor leg injury during opening practice of Titans training camp, former Ole Miss wide receiver A.J. Brown has returned to the practice field. Brown spent practice jogging, working with trainers, as well as throwing passes to receivers. So if that's any good news, is that he's back doing a few small things. No specifics on the injury have been given, but Brown said that after practice, he's almost ready to return. We'll have more from him coming up tonight on WCBI Sports at 10. That's it for sports. We'll have the last look at your weather when we come back after the break. Stay with us. Well, I do want to mention that we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Marion County until 7 p.m. So expect heavy rainfall as well as gusty winds. We're going to keep this trend going of seeing some slightly soggy weather for your Thursday as well as Friday. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 90s and lows will be in the low 70s. So pretty typical summertime weather pattern for us.
We were spoiled, I think it was about 2 weeks ago when we had the low humidity, highs in the mid 80s, and we are we turning the corner?
It felt like fall, right?
It did.
It really did.
It was amazing. Yes, I know.
But those temperatures will be here soon enough, surely, right?
We're close. We're close to fall. We just got to make it through. Just,
I just need some October in my life. That's all.
And that was me partially begging. All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a